Hey everyone, it's Laura and welcome to Friday Reads. Okay, this has got to genuinely be quick today because I'm getting a massage in 24 minutes and it takes me 10 minutes to get to work. My coworker is giving me a massage. It has been over a year since I've had a massage. I get other body work done, I get other stuff done, but I don't get massages. It's hard for us to find time when we both have an opening, so that's why my hair is still wet. I have no makeup on and I'm hot and sweaty because I'm trying to run around and trying not to sweat, which of course then makes you, not sweaty, but like overheated. Babbling too much already. Okay. So Song of the Week is Second Time Around by Tuxedo. I really, really enjoy this group. I think they've been around for 5 or 6 years. I've known of them. It's two guys. I think they're from Detroit. Don't quote me on that. But they make new music that sounds like 80s and 90s R&B kind of. Sometimes 70s stuff. Some of their stuff reminds me of Earth, Wind & Fire a little bit. I just really enjoy them. They make me really happy. So Second Time Around is from their second album. There is some swearing on some of their songs, but not this one. Just as sort of a heads up in case you're not a swearing kind of person. But that's my pick for the week. It's been in and out of my head. I heard it on the radio again on Monday and I thought, God, this really is a good song. So there you go. Okay, so I've had 2 books come into my library this week. This is from my mom. She read it and passed it on to me. There's More to Life Than This, Healing Messages, Remarkable Stories, and Insight About the Other Side from Theresa Caputo, The Long Island Medium. So this should be interesting. And the other one that I finally got my hands on, I don't know when I'm going to read this. I'm tempted to read the series again, just so I can laugh and roll my eyes, but I might give myself an ice brain, I don't know. But it's Midnight Sun by Stephanie Meyer. It's so bad, and I enjoy it immensely. What can I say? Okay, I finished 3 books this week, thanks to insomnia, which is right back. Boy, I did miss a beat. Yeah, I read 2 of these books because of insomnia. So the first one is Stars of Fortune by Nora Roberts. This is the first in the Guardians trilogy. This came out 6 years ago-ish, I think. I recommended it to Danny at Spinelli Speaks, whom I will link below. I sent her a big list of recommendations when she asked for recommendations, and I said, just pick one if you want. And she read, like, all of them. Girl, you're crazy. Anyways, I recommended this to her thinking this would be an easy read because Nora is just comforting. You know what to expect. They're enjoyable and fun, And then she kept talking about it and I was like, yeah, I haven't read this yet. She's like, girl, what the hell? So I read this finally. This was fine. I mean, with a trilogy like hers, the basic setup, it's going to be 3 couples and they're going to be fighting some adversary. That's going to be a major story arc through all 3 books. Set in a really nice location. There's usually some kind of magic-ish something involved. Not always, but usually. So this one is set on Greece. There are 3 goddesses and they create 3 stars to celebrate a new queen in their land, which is like outside of time and space. And then there's this bad goddess who's nothing but evil and darkness, and she wants to destroy them. So these 3 goddesses hide them on Earth, and there's a big prophecy for generations that there will be 6 who will fight, and etc. So this is the setup. They have their first fight here, the first initial couple, who is like the most obviously mushy, get together. I have to say, when they finally got down to business, I laughed. I probably shouldn't have, but it made me laugh. Like, all right, whatever. So this was fine, 3 stars, If you like her stuff, you're going to like this one. If you don't start here. This one is a bit of a bummer now. So I read the majority of this in one morning. This is Potent Pleasures by Eloisa James. Romance trilogy. I think this is her first published novel, so out over 20 years ago, I think. I had seen some middling reviews of this, but I thought, I like her writing in general. I like Eloisa James. She does historical romance. This should be fine. Nope. Okay, gotta keep my rant short here. I'm giving this a generous 2 stars because it's her first book. And there's a lot here that I enjoyed. I mean, like I said, I read most of this in one night, and this is 450 pages. So, I mean, it can't be that terrible if I could keep reading it. However, there's going to be a little swearing here. Both the main characters are assholes. The female MC, less so. She's sort of perfect and beautiful and talented, but she doesn't quite know it, and, you know, but the man, oh my God, what an ass. He might be beautiful, but major, major anger issues. Like, I'm getting so hot thinking about it. Like, major anger issues. So he's obsessed with his wife's purity, his future wife's purity, whoever it's going to be. Of course, it's the main character here. But he's just obsessed with it. And years before, 5 or 6 years before, she and a friend snuck out to a ball. And this is Regency, by the way. They snuck out to a ball. They shouldn't have been it because it's all levels of society. It's not just upper class. So it was a costume ball, so, you know, nobody knows who they were. So she got pulled into the garden by the main character, by the guy. Both dressed up. They both assumed that they were a footman and or like a servant or of some kind. And they sleep together for the first time. And he falls in love with her. She falls in love with him instantly. Okay, yeah, more barfing. So skip ahead 5 years. She runs into him at the ball, and she knows who he is. She realizes her mistake, that he wasn't a footman, that he's this twin who's super rich and eligible and whatever. So she keeps telling him, like, oh, I met you before. And he's like, no, you met my twin brother. We look so much alike. My mother couldn't tell us apart. So it's that throughout it. When they finally do get married and they do the downstairs handshake, after it's done, it's like beautiful and perfect and, you know, all the barfy stuff. Then they start talking, and she said, it's better than I remembered. And then he thinks in his little pea brain, I knew she must be a whore. No one can be this good their first time. She said again, whatever. So he starts screaming and throwing crap at her and just friggin' takes off. That is the first time he does this to her. Like, he hits her. Like, it's just so infuriating. Oh my God. Why stay with this person? Like, I know that you love him, but come on. And he's got a daughter from this marriage. He married this woman hastily in Italy, this Italian lady. She had a child. She died of scarlet fever. So he's got this like 1-year-old child he didn't really know about till his ex-wife died. They had their marriage annulled. There's more to it, but it made me so mad. So this is a very generous 2 stars. Do not start here with Eloisa James. Do not read this romance novel unless you are an Eloisa completist, or you feel like torturing yourself, or you're cool with massive misunderstandings throughout the whole book because they don't have a conversation. And she doesn't just yell like domino or costume ball, because they're both dressed as dominoes, which is like a cloak kind of a thing. I gotta stop. It's so maddening. I'll continue the series because I already own the books and they're all shorter than this one. And I don't think the other characters are going to be as infuriating as these 2 ding-dongs were. So, moving on. God, I gotta talk faster now. Whew. Okay. So, this was sort of a fun read. I just added in because I wanted something that was not maddening or simpering and not depressing, because all the nonfiction I have is depressing. And when I'm reading it on the couch at night, like, I am not looking for education. I'm not looking to be depressed or feel bad about the world. I'm looking to be entertained so I can sleep and not have nightmares. So I picked up Samantha Irby's We Are Never Meeting in Real Life, this nonfiction essay collection. I'd heard of her throughout the years, but didn't really know of her until I saw her latest book called Wow, No Thank You reviewed in Book Pages a couple of months ago. And I thought, oh yeah, I really should get back to her. So I got this, I hauled this, used copy, and I really enjoyed it. I mean, she pulls no punches. There's swearing. She's about my age, which I appreciated. She's also not a small person, which I also appreciate as a not small person. She talks about being fat. She talks about being broke and growing up. And her cat Helen Keller, who is just like a nightmare cat, how she like falls in love, her relationships, how when she gets married, and there's sex in here. So if you don't like sex and you don't like swearing, don't read this book. Her blog is called Bitches Gotta Eat. I haven't checked it out yet, but I really enjoyed this. It made me chuckle. Some things made me laugh out loud. I sent a couple of pictures of pages to one of my besties, Jenna. Hey, Jenna. Because she was sending me pictures of, I think she was reading Meaty by Samantha Irby. So we were sending each other's photos back and forth a little bit, like, oh my God, yes, preach, you know, like whatever. So this was really fun, a nice distraction, and nice to have something contemporary that I could relate to and that was funny. She gets really serious too in here. She doesn't pull punches. There's some sad stuff that happens. There's some tragic stuff that happens to her, but somehow it doesn't drag you down. And I don't know, I really like her writing. It's just easy and straightforward. So again, if you don't like swearing and you don't like sex or talk about sex, don't read this. Don't read her stuff, I'm assuming, because why would she change who she is? You know, she's how she is. So yeah, new fan of Samantha Irby. So that's what I read this week. Insomnia again last night, so I read almost the entirety of the second book in this trilogy. Let's see what else. Still working on Booktube prize, still like chipping away slowly on lots of other books, but not really getting anywhere. Actually, clearly, for the year, I'm ahead of pace. So my goal for the year is 150 books. I think right now I'm at 130 or 131, somewhere in there. So I'm ahead of the game. I've got like 20-ish books to read by the end of December. I can do that. Like, that's fine. But I need to really step it up some more. And because I didn't really read much those 2 months in quarantine when everything really hit in the States. So, you know, March, April, May, it was hard to get back. I've just been kind of slumpy all year. So I'm hoping I can get out of this more. And if it takes reading books like this off of my shelf that I can just sort of plow through and get it moving, that's fine. It won't be enjoyable, but that's okay. So yeah, we'll just see. I don't know. So, okay, I need to go like now. So have a great week. I hope you guys are all doing well and staying safe. And I will talk to you all very soon. Don't know when. Maybe Tuesday, maybe not. I don't know. I gotta go. All right, bye.